we being Republicans, have only a 1.8% deficit to the Democrats among active voters.
Now, explain to the listeners what that means.
Well, what that means is that there are 1.8% more registered active Democratic voters than there are registered active Republican voters, and there's actually a plurality of unaffiliated voters in the district.
So the difference is only 1.8% between active Republicans and Democrats.
That's right, and it used to be 12% before redistricting. So it's a whole big change, and I think that we need to look at the actions of the Democratic Party to say, do they think there's a chance? Do they feel threatened? And I think the best answer for that is, well, they sued to keep me off the ballot. They carried forth that new tradition they have of interfering in Republican primaries, and actually challenged my petition signatures to prevent me from getting on the ballot. Of course, we won that case because it was frivolous, but that just shows who they want to run against, and it ain't me. They also are doing things like having a kid with a video camera follow me around. So if I say something dumb, it'll probably get a wide distribution.
But you'll never say anything dumb, right?
Well, I try not to.
But it's inevitable that every politician at some point or another says something that they just wish they hadn't, or they wish they could just tape back. Let me just play devil's advocate. If that were to happen, Eric, how would you react to it?
Well, I think that you have to know that politics is a tough game, and I do expect that the Democrats will be negative attacks on me, and if they don't have something true, then they might make something up or create inferences. You have to do careful research and find out really what your opponent's weaknesses are, and make sure the voters know about them. I've done that with Congressman Polis's lining his own pockets based on his information that he earned as a congressman, and put out a video. It's at firejaredpolis.com on his trading on the information that he gleaned as a congressperson.
So he was a part of this insider trading stuff that was going on in the halls of Congress.
Oh, he sure was. He was a poster boy.
And what's that website again?
That's firejaredpolis.com.
Okay, Eric, explain to folks that are listening this evening, because the district has, you and I had this conversation on Monday, and you showed me a map. I was astonished, and actually I was a little embarrassed that I hadn't paid that much closer attention to how the district had changed so significantly. How has it changed?
Well, the biggest addition is all of Larimer County. So that's Fort Collins, Loveland, Berthoud, Estes Park, all the way up to the Wyoming border. We've also added the western part of Jefferson County, so parts of Littleton, Morrison, Evergreen, those areas, and all the way down into Conifer and Bailey and Park County. Those are very solid Republican areas. Areas that we've lost have been all the parts of Adams County that used to be in the district, sort of Clinton and North Glen, the north parts of Jefferson County, Westminster-ish, and the westernmost part of Eagle County are now no longer in the district. So about half the voters in the district were not in the 2nd Congressional District last time.
So this has to be a much more competitive district than what it's been over the past 10 years.
It's a completely different and competitive district, and with the highest percentage of unaffiliated voters in any district in Colorado, it's easy to see that this is a district that could surprise a lot of people.
Why do you think other than the geographical drawing of the boundaries, why do you think so many voters in this particular district are unaffiliated? What does that say about those particular voters?
Well, I think that, and this comes from my traveling around the district and talking with voters, that the voters have a real sort of almost a libertarian view. They want small government. They're opposed to the fiscal madness in Washington, but they really want to stay away from some of the social issues and those sorts of things that have defined party politics in Colorado.
What do you think would be? I understand nationally we have a serious economic problem. We have a spending and a debt problem. We have all sorts of problems nationally. But if you had to kind of ratchet it down to the 2nd Congressional District in Colorado, what do you think the main issues there are? And are they different or not different than they are on the national level?
They aren't different. There are the same concerns. Of course, there are local concerns. We have 2 universities. We have a tourism industry. We have agriculture, extractive industries. suburban communities, and all a very varied area. So, of course, there are local concerns in every part of the district. But overall, the concerns are spending, debt, and economic growth. And those are the top concerns, and just as they are in the nation as a whole.
So, Eric, if people want to volunteer, they want to write a check, they want to just find out more about you, what are all the different ways that they can find out about Eric Weissman?
Well, of course, the best way is our website, which is ericweissman.com, and there are 2 S's and 2 N's in Weissman. And you can volunteer there. You can certainly contribute there and read about issues and proposals and so forth, a lot of very specific proposals. Also, one could call our campaign office at 720-242-6237, or just stop by. We're at 3000 Pearl Street, right in Boulder.
Right you're right in the middle of enemy territory.
That's right. Well, they say it's the People's Republic, but I'm the People's Republican.
You're the People's Republican in the People's Republic of Boulder. I love it. Hey, Eric, listen, good luck. Stay in touch. Again, it's ericweissman.com. Have a safe flight back, and we hope to have you on again in the future sometime. I assume you'd do that.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and love to do it again.
All right. Hey, fly safely and get home and get to work, Eric.
Through those tornadoes.
Okay, yeah. Hey, take care. It's the Michael Brown Show on News Radio 850 KOA. I'm glad that Eric spent a couple of segments talking to us, because as you saw in the election Tuesday in Wisconsin, I believe this is an election year where virtually anything is possible. I've been to several political events in the past couple of weeks while we've been while the Rockies have been playing baseball, sometimes not so good, not so well. And I've come to this conclusion. There is a pent-up feeling in the country that we, one, are on the wrong track, and two, and I think this is the most encouraging thing to me as I've traveled around the last week or so, people are getting angry, and they're getting defensive. They're getting defensive in this sense. American exceptionalism, the things that have made America great, individualism, hard work, people taking risk, sometimes succeeding and sometimes failing, and picking themselves up and moving on again, people want to get back to that kind of attitude. And I think people are afraid that is going away unless we make a serious change in this election. So I'm gonna continue to have we'll have all the politicians. Anybody that wants to come on this show, we'll have them on the show. We'll talk to them. I'll deal with any of them fairly and let you hear about what they have to say. It's the Michael Brown Show on News Radio 850 KOA. Who's back there? It is Chiro.
It's me.
It is you. Well, there's half the lights in here today. What happens? I'm gone for like a week. Half the lights in the studio are burned out, so I had to turn on the other lights so I can see here. And now I've got this like reflection in the mirror in the glass, and I can't see you.
Looks like we need some type of a maintenance man around here.
So why don't you get busy and come in here and change the lights?
I do sometimes if I can find something to stand up on. It's kind of tall.
It's pretty pathetic.
It's dark in here though too.
Well, I'm gonna make it dark here in a minute.
Can't wait. Then I won't have to see it.
Have you missed me?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to you even when I'm not here in the studio.
I'm glad someone does.
I'm listening to the Rockies or whatever, and I'm screaming at them because they suck, or I'm screaming at them because they're taking up my time.
Hey, they had a good string there.
They did have a good string. Well, they had a good string from
the last couple of games.
Till the last couple of games. Think about what we just said. They had a good string until the last couple of games. So they had a good short string.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to feel like a Chicago fan.
Why is that?
Well, you know how they you just keep rooting for them, and you just you go, and I go to the games, and you just keep hoping.
Well, that's the whole point of being a fan, isn't it? You can't just be a fair weather fan.
No, and truthfully,
I guess you can.
What?
I guess you could be a fair weather fan.
Well,
people are. But.
No, it's just that I like to watch good baseball. Mm-hmm. So win or lose, as long as it's a good game. God, they'll hit me for saying this, but okay. So they lose. It's disappointing, but it was a good game.
Yeah,
but when the games suck,
that's like last night. Halfway.